The problem in America today is that there is a team that's claiming corporate tax rates are really high, and there's a team that's claiming corporate tax rates are really low. So let's look at the high rates. According to a study by the Congressional Budget Office, which compared the headline corporate tax rates, that's 35% today, and that's the highest in the G20 countries. That's the highest, in fact, in the OECD economies. Even when you compare effective rates in the US to the rest of the G20, again citing the same Congressional Budget Office report, the US is in the top 4 countries in the G20 with those high rates. We really don't have a great understanding of who the incidence is on. So yes, you're taxing the company. The company includes shareholders, it includes consumers, it includes workers. So when a company faces a tax, it has the option to either pass on the tax to consumers in the form of higher prices, to tax workers in the form of lower wages, or to reduce the returns to shareholders. In my research with Kevin Hassett, we found that in a global open economy, it's much tougher for companies to try to pass on the tax to consumers in the form of higher prices or shareholders in the form of lower returns. In fact, a large fraction of the tax is actually borne by workers. I would argue that a corporate tax cut would benefit workers a whole lot. Now, it's possible that you would get some benefits for shareholders as well, and the economy as a whole would see higher investment, but I do think that workers would benefit. The idea that corporate taxes can benefit worker wages is not about companies just handing over more cash to workers. It really comes through the investment effect. So we're looking at firm incentives to invest in the US. We have a ton of economic literature that suggests that companies are much more likely to invest in countries that have relatively lower tax rates. So that's where the mechanism comes from. It's not about workers being handed a higher paycheck just because companies now get a tax cut. It's about the effect being long run through higher investment, through higher worker productivity, and that's where the wage effect comes from. I do think that corporate tax cuts can benefit the economy. We will see more investment, we will see worker wages going up, which is likely to have positive economic growth impacts. How much? I think depends a lot on the entire package of the tax deal that President Trump might be able to pass. I do think that a comprehensive tax reform, which includes tax cuts but also base broadening, could have positive economic growth impacts, could lead to higher wages and higher investment.